Hi, my name is Michael, this is The Slice, and in today's episode we're talking to Jenny Hindmarsh. So today we are talking to Jenny. Jenny, are you excited to be here today?
Yeah, it's really nice to be talking to somebody in these strange lockdown times.
Yeah, I get really excited when I see the postman. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So I have a 20-minute timer, and the rules of the show is you get 20 minutes to talk about your business. Within that 20 minutes, you can talk about whatever you want. I'll do that again because I think I've just stumbled myself. So today we are talking to Jenny. Jenny, how are you feeling?
I'm good, thanks.
Good, and it's a pleasure to have you here today. So the rules of the show are very simple. You get 20 minutes to talk about your business or your personal life. The minute that the timer goes off, that's it, conversation over. Is that okay? Are you ready to go?
Okay.
Good
Yep.
stuff. Let's do this. So the timer has started. So Jenny, first of all, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do for those of the people that don't know anything about you.
Okay, my name's Jenny Hindmarsh, and my business is called Blossom Bridge Services.
Mm-hmm.
Blossom Bridge started out initially, came about because I was giving some support to a friend who's a project director with a charity, and I was giving a little bit of guidance to them, and they were finding it helpful and they were using it, and they said to me, you want to start thinking about your hourly rate. And at the time I was just somebody who was looking for my next job, my next challenge. I wasn't really thinking about having a business, and that sort of sowed the seed to think, oh, there might be something in that. And I looked into that and explored it. And my background that I'm used to doing is health and safety. So normally I'm a health and safety professional. That's been my day job for about the last 8 years or more.
Yeah.
So I had a sort of twist of events with starting Blossom Bridge Services, because my first thoughts were, yes, let's go and be a health and safety consultant and give guidance and advice to people's businesses.
Yeah.
And in going down that journey, I was also had the time on my hands while setting up a business and growing your contacts and your network and everything, that I tried Reiki just as a customer, going along for the experience. Never had it before, didn't know anything about it, and it was just a curiosity, really. I'm somebody who's always been in complementary therapies. I've always been interested in acupuncture. Many years ago, I used to suffer quite badly with migraines, and it was a course of acupuncture that basically stopped them from happening. I was somebody who had 2 or 3 migraines a month, really quite severe ones, and I probably get maybe 2 a year now. And that's from getting into acupuncture, and also looking at your diet and your lifestyle and things like that, and making sure you drink more water, and a lot of the things that we should all be doing in the best of times. And that was what helped me sort of overcome the migraine. So that sowed my interest in complementary therapies. And I thought, well, if that's what acupuncture does, what else is there? And I had the time on my hands, so I went along for a Reiki session. And really enjoyed it. And I think you can't explain what a Reiki treatment is unless you've had a Reiki treatment. I don't know yourself. Have you ever been for Reiki?
Yes, I have. Emma, who is a part of Networks, Emma Halewood, she's performed Reiki 3 times for me. For many years, I think the same as you, I was just trying to think, I've heard of this, I've heard that everyone that talks about it says it's great, and I think out of curiosity I went along and had it. But yes, it does something. And I'm quite a spiritual person anyway, to the point that I'm quite open to those kind of things. For me, it was a game changer.
Yeah, and I think you've just hit on something good there, really, by saying that you're quite open to that sort of thing. Because if somebody goes along to, an exercise class, be it Zumba or martial arts or whatever, and they think, oh, I'm going to enjoy this, they probably will, because they're setting that intention to enjoy it. And when you go along for Reiki or whatever treatment you're trying, and you go along with an open mind, you will take something from it. And they do say Reiki goes where Reiki is needed. So even if it's just somebody feels really, really relaxed and they almost fall asleep on the treatment table, that's absolutely okay. That's what they needed to have happen, you know. Some people might feel really, really energized. Some people might feel like it stirred up some emotions in them. People take away their own experiences from Reiki. And that's one of the things that I like about Reiki. Obviously, I went along initially for a Reiki treatment myself, got quite a lot from the experience, and that sowed my interest. I went on a Reiki workshop, and the next thing I'd completed my level 1, then I'd completed my level 2, and I'd just done it initially as an interest, but it put me in a position that I could practice Reiki on other people. So I told some friends that I'd done these Reiki courses, and they were like, oh yeah, you can practice on me. And I did Reiki on one friend, and she went into work and told somebody how much she'd enjoyed it, and that person knew me too. They contacted me, and it just sort of got a little bit of momentum, literally just practicing on family and friends for free. And it was a chat with my hairdresser who said, oh, I've got a treatment room going if you want it. And it was just a throwaway comment that led to thinking, well, yeah, let's give this a go.
Might as well.
And that's how Reiki as the business got started. And in more recent times, I've been delivering Reiki from a business in Wrexham called Balance Wellness, which is a really nice space that does quite a few complementary therapies. They do sports massages themselves, and they also have the infrared saunas, and they also do it's a big open space there. They do yoga classes, tai chi, pilates, gong baths, all sorts of different sort of complementary therapies and things like that. So it's a really nice complement to the Reiki. And I've been there for about 6 months or so, only on a weekend, because that suits my circumstances at the time. I was health and safety by day and Reiki practitioner by the weekend, and that suited my circumstances. So that's how I've got into the Reiki, and it's not just about doing the Reiki for the customers, it's the feedback that you get from people. I've treated somebody with dementia who I was sort of warned by their husband that they might not be very receptive, they might not really understand what's going on, and they walked out of the treatment room and said, wow, that was fantastic, I feel so relaxed. So I couldn't have asked for better feedback, really. I've had some really nice feedback from clients who they've maybe lost somebody, and they are maybe seeking Reiki for a bit of comfort, and they've given really nice feedback. Some people might be a bit of a gym junkie and they're not very good at switching off, and they want to just try something different to calm down a bit. They've given me really good feedback. So I've had a variety of clients who've tried Reiki for a whole host of different reasons, and they've all come away with really complimentary feedback, and that's my why I carry on doing it, really.
And it sounds like you're doing it for the absolute right reasons. You fell into it just out of the curiosity of wanting to obviously further that kind of experience that you had the first time. So you're doing it for the right reasons. What type of people do you see coming in for Reiki? Are they people that work in very stressful jobs? Are they people who literally, like you said, can't switch off? What are the main types of people that are looking for that alternative kind of relaxation therapy?
It can be all sorts, really. A lot of people tend to be stressed for whatever reason. It might be stress from a job, it might be stress from a situation, exam stress or something significant like that, or it might be a nice stress that they've got the build up to a wedding or something. They could be, preoccupied for a whole host of reasons, and a variety of age ranges as well, from people in the 20s through to pensioners. So it's kind of across the board, really. And that is one of the things about Reiki is Reiki is there for anybody, as is any complementary therapy. And when you go along for Reiki, you're always have a bit of a mini consultation at the beginning to find out a little bit about the person, just establish that they're not recovering from any major surgeries or about to undergo some major surgery, or make sure that if they're pregnant, they should really tell you, and things like that. And obviously there's certain people that you can't treat. So if somebody is under the influence of alcohol or drugs or something, then you'd have to turn somebody like that away. So there's certain criteria for that client coming along for the appointment, and obviously we want to make sure that doing Reiki appropriately in line with the teachers. There's different types of Reiki. So the training that I did comes under Usui Reiki, and there's lots of different sort of experiences that people can have with Reiki. Some people talk about getting colours and auras and lights and all sorts of things, and other people say they've just not had that at all, but they feel so much more relaxed afterwards. If they wear in a Fitbit or something, it'll tell them that their heart rate's gone down, and things like that. So people take away their own experiences from the Reiki, and it often, the person is always a lot more open to sharing things about themselves after they've had a Reiki treatment. When they come in, they can be a little bit, they've still got the day going on, they can be quite busy, quite preoccupied sort of thing, do struggle a little bit maybe at the beginning to relax, and then by the end of the Reiki, quite often I'm having to sort of give them a tap to almost wake them up sometimes. And they're so much more relaxed, so much more calmer, and they open up to talk about things and maybe say why they've been feeling stressful, or what's been on their mind, or something that they're going through or something, and it's open up and share so much more, and that's often what the person needed to do in the first place, and it's by talking to people and sharing that people often take that away from a Reiki treatment as well. When you go for a complementary therapy of any kind, it's that one-to-one with that other person that you don't always get when you go to other experiences, because you're often doing things in group settings or whatever. So it's quite nice to have that sort of undivided attention, if you like, from somebody.
So from somebody who has never had Reiki before, and would you suggest that they get a different experience, or they get a higher benefit from being more open? Like, I'm a very open person. I'm quite a spiritual person as well. So I understand about the balance in the body, mindfulness and that. So for me, I assume from my thinking, I would get a bigger kind of benefit from it, because I am an open person, because I do practice spirituality and stuff, so therefore I'm more perceptible to it. Do you find that the more open, the better response you get, or do you think that plays a part in it?
I think it definitely plays a part, but I also think it very much depends on the individual. And like you said, with people being open, if somebody it's like when we all get up in the morning, at the moment in these lockdown times where we're all staying at home, it's very easy to get up some mornings and you can easily have a glass half empty outlook on life. And the one thing that I take from the teachings of Reiki, and they talk about the Reiki principles, is the fact that you can learn the tools, if you like, to help yourself to turn your day around. So even if it's just finding 3 things to be grateful for, when you wake up in the morning, you can be grateful for the fact that you woke up in the morning. You'd be grateful for the fact that the sun is shining and it's not raining outside. You can be grateful for the fact that you're safe at home. And just by setting those intentions, you're already putting yourself in a better mindset to go and have a better day. And you know, bad stuff is always going to happen.
It's how you react.
But it's how you deal with it and how you react, absolutely. And a lot of the principles of Reiki, and how you look at things and how you approach things come from that. And it's those sort of Reiki principles and Reiki teachings that I find, certainly in a stressful time such as lockdown like this, it really, really helps on a daily basis, you know. And sure, sometimes you have to work a bit harder at it than others. And other days it feels like the energy flows so much more better, and you naturally feel more positive with it. So that's a big takeaway from it for me. And I'm finding now in these strange times that the knowledge of Reiki is helping me massively.
So how have you found adapting your business? Because obviously your business is very much a hands-on business. How have you found adapting and staying current in, you know, this pandemic? How have you found the transition from being physically there to then now being on video? Have you found it quite hard?
Yeah, obviously, Balance Wellness is closed, as are all the other businesses. So for me, I'm sort of keeping, I belong to the UK Reiki Federation, which is a professional membership. And I do my CPD, which is continuing professional development. So when I treat people, I can write case studies about those people.
Okay.
I can, just as a client can give a testimonial, I can write a case study about the client. And it's not necessarily anything about the individual. It's more about the situation that they may be shared with you. And that sort of thing. So there's that kind of thing that I've been working on. I've recently become an area representative, actually, for the UK.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Congratulations.
So I'm sort of, in terms of geography, I look after the sort of Chester, Wrexham, North East Wales area. And as a new area rep, they're doing a little introduction to us in their next national magazine that's coming out, which is
Get You Superstar,
which is coming out in about May or June time.
Yeah.
So that's something new that I'll be able to use during these
100%.
times, if
100%.
you like. And be a point of contact for people who might want to speak to somebody who does Reiki and is in this area, and can take it from there. So that's been a nice little achievement for me in these lockdown times, for that to happen. And in terms of following on, for me, the next step for me is to do the Reiki Master training, which will then enable me to go on to teach others to do Reiki if I want to do that.
Wow.
So that's a nice addition to what I already do. I kind of get the payback already from doing Reiki treatment with people and the feedback that I get, but the Reiki Masters will be like a nice addition on top of that, which I'd be quite keen to follow up on when times allow.
It sounds like, you know, from going from just one inquisitive Reiki session, you've completely just turned your whole life around. I mean, how amazing is that? From one experience, you've literally turned your life around.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying then. I think because by day, I worked as a health and safety professional in some very sort of corporate environments, and I've worked with a lot of engineers, and when people talk about STEM, science, technology, engineering, maths, and people like to see proof, and people like to see the hard facts and the science and the evidence to back things up. And then I've gone and found an interest in Reiki, which is a complete contrast to that environment.
It is, yeah.
And you know, you hear people talk about the placebo effect, or people might take some comfort from a feather falling from the sky when they've lost somebody, or a robin sitting on a fence. You know, if that experience gives them some comfort, then it's not my place to judge that or criticize that. That's absolutely fine, you know. And so it is a real contrast to the sort of health and safety side of what I've got knowledge in,
Yeah.
and then the other side with the Reiki, which is yeah, absolutely love it.
How do you feel that your mindset has changed going from such an intense working environment to the environment that you've created now? How do you feel that you've changed as a person? Because that must have some kind of change in you as a person.
Yeah, I think there's definitely been a shift in me, and I've done some other courses as well, which sometimes you've already got knowledge of something because maybe if you've been into self-development and learning and development over the years, and you've read lots of books and you've had lots of experiences, but it's not always until you actually go on the course and you hear someone else telling you that it reaffirms that belief, and you think, yeah, I'm actually right with that. And so I've done law of attraction courses, and I've learned about positive mindset.
Yeah.
And I've recently done mental health first aider training as well. So it's like having a toolbox, really, which is always helpful when working with Reiki clients. And I'd love to add to the complementary therapy side of what I do. For example, anatomy and physiology is like the foundation of a lot of your complementary therapies, and I'd like to build on that and get that anatomy and physiology, and then from there you can look into Indian head massage or whatever it might be, and sort of build on that skill set. So it's definitely something that's a passion of mine, and it's something that I'm interested in.
It sounds like you'd be great having, and I'm not, because I'm a videographer, I see things a lot visually. I think, if you were to, oh, there's the timer. The timer's gone. I will just quickly say, I think moving forward, I think if you were to offer something, video-wise during this pandemic and just give people some little nuggets of mindfulness and stuff, I think that would be brilliant, because normally I know when that time is going off, and I was even surprised that had just gone off, so I was in awe of what you were saying, and I think we could have talked for another 20 minutes, I feel, quite easily. How did you find today's Slice episode?
We brought it forward still, and but I've done it.
I think sometimes you just have to go with it. But it's absolutely been a pleasure having you on the show. If anybody would like to see any previous episodes, then please head over to youtube.com/Take the Cape Pro. Or if you'd like to see them on Facebook, just search for Take the Cape Productions in your search, and you can subscribe and follow the channels from there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.